I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Well, I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Makes me feel so good. I can do most anything. All right. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Makes me feel so good. I can do most anything. I am loving every living thing. I can see the face of God on paupers and kings. We're all precious, no one less or more. We've all got the same treasure to store. I am loving every little thing. How about you? Well, I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. It makes me feel so good. I can do most anything. I am believing in my guiding light. That's right. Come on now. No matter what comes, you know it always turns out right. That's right. I just dig right down to how I feel, then take a deep breath and grab the wheel. I'm believing, yes I am, in my guiding light. Yeah, I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing, sing, sing. Makes me feel so good. I can do most anything. I am rising to a higher place, with the wind in my back and a smile up on my face. That's right. You know I'm living my dream a little more each day. It keeps getting easier to find my way. I'm rising, yes, to a higher place. Let's go. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. It makes me feel so good. I can do most. Make me feel so good. All I can do. Make me feel so good. I can do most anything.
What a way to get us going this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Temple on the Plaza, where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. My name is Diana Greer, and it is a joy to spend this Sunday morning with you. If you're joining us for the first time or visiting from out of town, we are so happy you chose to spend your morning with us. We want to extend a special welcome and invite you to join us for community time in the lower level in Unity Hall following our service. And if you're joining us online, welcome. Please put in the chat where you're streaming in from. As always, we love hearing from you. And now, let's prepare our hearts for the reading of the daily word by our prayer chaplain, Julie.
Good morning. The daily word for today, Sunday, July 12th, 2026, is guidance. Our affirmation for today is, in the divine presence, I am guided. Our reading for today is divine guidance is not only found in burning bushes or mind-blowing revelations. More often, it arrives as gentle nudges, subtle enough to overlook, ordinary enough to dismiss. Yet these quiet signals are holy too. A craving for sweetness, a need for fresh air, a muscle that tightens or relaxes, all can be taken as cues to care for body and soul. As I become present to the fullness of my humanity, my senses, intuition, inner knowing, I recognize guidance as ever-flowing. It invites a restorative resting of mind and heart. It is an alert stillness that listens, a receptive openness where clarity emerges and gentle direction unfolds. I trust the quiet impulses that draw me forward, allowing the simplest moments to lead me toward my soul's fulfillment with ease. Our scripture today comes from Exodus 33:14. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Our daily word is guidance. Today's affirmation is, in the divine presence, I am guided. Thank you.
It's now time to move into our service with our temple chimes, the opening prayer, and the call to inspiration with Kelly Hunt. Beginning last Sunday, we refreshed our Sunday morning opening prayer. On December 7th, 1892, our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, wrote and signed a covenant dedicating themselves, their time, their resources, and all they had to the Spirit of truth. That covenant, which is framed in our narthex, is one of the sacred texts of the Unity movement. Let us join now in saying our opening prayer, which is inspired by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore's covenant. It can be found on the screen and in your bulletin. Together, here in the presence of divine love, we dedicate ourselves to the Spirit of truth. Centered in peace, the harmonizing power of unity flows through our minds, calms our bodies, and steadies our souls. Through every season, through every change, we are guided by infinite wisdom, strengthened by life, comforted by hope, and empowered by God the good as every need is met. With grateful hearts, we bless Unity Temple, we bless the house of faith, and we bless one another. Thank you, God. Amen.
God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. What do we do with this truth and these tears? And what will we see through our sorrow and our fear? When worry gathers to us like broken souvenirs, the beautiful bones of the world we live in, the beautiful bones of the land we love, like barren branches on a cold, clear morning, We take shelter in the beautiful bones. And all that we cherish will dissolve and melt away. And all decoration and adornment will decay. Then what are we left with when we cannot find our way? The beautiful bones of the world we live in, the beautiful bones of this land we love. Like the barren branches on a cold, clear morning, we take comfort in the beautiful bones, the beautiful bones. Beneath every warning that is whispered in our ears, underneath the elegance of this life that we hold dear, beneath everything that's always been here. Oh, 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 the beautiful bones of the world we live in, the beautiful bones of the land we love. Like the barren branches on a cold, clear morning, we all come from the beautiful bones. We all come from the beautiful bones.
Going to do the meditation now. That is a Kelly Hunt original. Beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. And with that, let's just take that beautiful message into our time of prayer and meditation. And so I invite you to settle in. Feel the chair beneath you, steady and supporting you. You want to place your feet flat on the floor. And rest your hands lightly in your lap in the open and receptive position, just light as a feather. Allow your attention to begin to gently turn within. So tune out the noise and turn your focus inward. Take a slow, easy breath in and let it go. One more easy breath in and release that breath. And now just allow your breathing to find its own natural rhythm, just breathing in and breathing out. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw, soften your body, And soften your thoughts. There's nowhere else for you to be. You're in the right and perfect place. And now begin to notice the quiet center within you, the place in you that is steady, the place in you that remains present beneath all of the noise and commotion in the world. And without changing anything, just notice how you are meeting this moment. And if the mind wanders, which minds do, just simply return to the quiet center within you. And from this place of stillness, rest easy in the presence of God, the presence that steadies you and calms you, the place leading you to serenity, the place that breathes through you and fills you with ease and grace. And so as we carry this awareness with us, we enter into just a few moments of inner quietude, of inner stillness, and we rest in the experience of God here in the silence. And as we begin to return from this time of resting in the silence, just notice your breath, easy and natural. And remember that you can return to this center again and again in the middle of your day, in the middle of any circumstance, step by step, breath by breath. And so now I invite you to quietly affirm within yourself, I meet this moment with an open heart. I live, move, and have my being in God. I trust the presence within me. Let these words settle within you. I meet this moment with an open heart. I live, move, and have my being in God. And I trust the presence within me. Let these words take root. Let them be with you and shape the way you meet the rest of this day, grounded in God, open to life, and at peace within yourself. And so with gratitude for these precious moments, we simply say, thank you, God. Thank you, sweet Spirit. And so it is. Amen. And so as you begin to bring your attention back to your surroundings, I invite you to seal this time by singing, I am so blessed, when you're ready.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Let's take a breath in. One more deep breath in and a big ah. Ah. My nervous system just feels so much more regulated. How about yours? Right? You feeling prayed up? Heavily meditated? Yes? All right. Friends, do not let friends drive heavily meditated. But you are in the right place. Well, it is my absolute delight to introduce our fabulous guest speaker this morning, David Westbrook. Now, many of you know that David is a long-time member of Unity Temple on the Plaza. And by long time, I mean he has called Unity Temple his spiritual home for 50 years. 50 years. Which means he has outlasted a lot of ministers, multiple renovations, and he has sat through enough committee meetings to qualify for sainthood, right? David is also one of Kansas City's most respected civic leaders. Years ago, David helped give Kansas City a question that was simple enough to remember and important enough to live by. Is it good for the children? Today, David serves on the Shawnee Mission Board of Education, and he is chair of the Plaza District Council, helping shape the very neighborhood that Unity Temple calls home. He is also the founder of Corporate Communications Group, and his generosity and commitment to children's health are honored through the David Westbrook Ophthalmology Clinic at Children's Mercy. Here at Unity Temple, David also serves as chair of the Jack Lockton Family Endowment, which is just another expression of his deep commitment to this spiritual community. But these titles and accomplishments, they only tell a part of his story. What makes David a lovely human being is the wit and the warmth and the generosity and the genuine care that he brings to people and places that matter most to him, which fortunately for Kansas City is quite a list. This morning, David invites us to consider the evidence of yourself. So please join me in giving our David Westbrook a warm welcome.
You flatter me deeply. Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you for such a warm welcome and such a high standard you've set for my talk today. Wit, I guess, must be included among my observations. I had a privilege the other day to meet David Sudeikis. Some of you may know he's a humorist like Steve Martin, like James Thurber, like so many other great humorists of our age. Ambrose Bierce would be among them. And he was here to talk about his new book, and in the opportunity to have him here, I had a chance to meet with him. I took a copy of a most recent book with me to get him to sign it. And being the humorist that he is, he said to me, you know, why would I want to sign a book for a blind guy who can't see my signature? I said, well, that's a good challenge. I can't read the book either, you know. And he said, well, I can read it to you. And I said, I'm busy next week. How about the week after next? He said he had to go to Italy. I said, oh, are you going to see the Pope again? He said, no, I saw the Pope some years ago. He said he was invited by the Pope to come to Vatican City with 107 other humorists, comedians, and writers who were all focused on comedy and humor and thinking of life with laughter. And he said, frankly, I don't know why people get so upset and nervous about seeing the Pope. I mean, there he was in his regalia, sitting in a chair a couple of feet away, but always seated, not rising when people would come to see him, but extending his hand touching them, shaking their hand. But he said people were so nervous when they would get to see the Pope. He said, you know, it's not like it's Santa Claus. I remember when I talked to David that he talked to me about the fact that the Pope shared with him a very big secret about Moses. And I said, now, are you telling me a joke? He said, no, this is serious. He said that Moses had a public relations man. Now, that caught my attention because I spent most of my adult life being a public relations man. And it didn't seem believable to me that Moses would have one. But he said, no, think about it. It made a lot of sense. When Moses was coming down to the Red Sea, he turned to his PR man and said, Ernie, the people of Israel are going to follow me here to the edge of the sea. I'm going to raise my right hand. The seas will part. The people and children of Israel will go to the other side. And when the Pharaoh's hordes are in search of us, I will raise my left arm. The seas will come down to engulf the hordes. What do you think? And according to David, Moses was told by his PR man, Mo, baby, you pull that off, I'll get you 2 pages in the Bible. I don't think David Sudeikis knew the true story, but that was the story he told. You know, the story I want to talk about today is what we're here to study today and what we're hearing an awful lot about this year, and it's the wonderful Declaration of Independence. Now, by now you've heard we hold these truths to be self-evident, that our Creator endowed us with certain unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We've studied that all throughout our elementary and secondary school years. Perhaps in post-secondary education, we've studied it more deeply. It was a remarkable moment in history, and if you haven't heard that statement too many times in the last week, you'll certainly hear it again and again and again in the coming year, and I don't think we can hear it too much. And the reason why is because we have something very special in this country. In that declaration, we acknowledged for the first time in the history of mankind that perhaps the government of a nation could be determined by the consent of the governed, not by the determination of a dictator or a benefactor, not by the determination of dynasty, someone whose name inherited their wealth and their magnitude of power and strength, but by the consent of the governed, that people could, through education, through self-governments, exercise the opportunity to exercise choice. Now, when I talk about choice, that can be a controversial term, but human beings are endowed with an extraordinary distinction among all animals in earth, and that is we have the capacity to think. Man, above all else, is a thinking animal. And sovereignty, until the writing of the Declaration of Independence, was an issue having to do with real estate, the amount of land that a dictator or a monarch or even a pope might be able to claim as his or her own. The idea that we might claim sovereignty for ourselves came to us initially from Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes was a 17th century philosopher who wrote about sovereignty and said, it will be necessary for the sovereignty of the self to be sacrificed in some measure, by some measure, in order to have the broader suffering of life be less sufferable. Now, Hobbes had seen the Great Depression of the Middle Ages. He had seen famine. He had seen the kind of disease and pestilence that came with not COVID, but a similar kind of disease that had gone through Europe. And suffering was something that people were taught that they would have to bear by being adults and being children and being in life. Jean-Jacques Rousseau took that to a next step, though. He relied on René Descartes, who suggested that maybe sovereignty has something to do with the sovereignty of human beings, that we don't have to suffer through life, but that by acknowledging our individual sovereignty, we can acknowledge that there is a common good that we can all strive for, that survival is not just the issue. Thriving, maybe even flourishing, could be the issue. And so when Jefferson wrote those words, we hold these truths to be self-evident. The whole idea of self-evidence was a radical idea, that we might be able to determine the measure of the quality of our lives by a kind of sovereignty that would be to give to the good, to the common good, that progress could be measured by embracing change, that change would be the only constant in life, but only through change, through adapting to change, could we entitle ourselves to a life that would be a more pleasant, more happy, more joyous experience. If we don't collaborate with one another, we don't have progress. It was collaboration, not magic, that built the pyramids. It's collaboration that Jefferson used when he decided to determine the architecture of the White House. It's collaboration that engineers use when they look at the problems of the Country Club Plaza and decide that before we build more buildings, before we clean the place, before we make it the wonderful destination that we've all known it to be, we must deal with the engineering issues of the sewage system, of the water distribution, of the green spaces, of the park that will be constructed. This all requires collaboration. Jefferson knew that through the consent of the governed, through collaboration, through having confidence in our capacity to be the thinking animals that we are, we could identify a nation that would not be governed by caprice, that would not be governed by the determination of right and wrong from a benevolent dictator or a despotic dictator, but that people, individuals, through the exercise of responsible choice, empowered through education, those people might build a country. And what a country we have. But humanity faces challenges. It's humanity that gave us the scientific knowledge and gift to build a rocket, to launch a man, to go to the moon and return safely again. It's humanity and science that gave us the gift to identify the microbes that cause smallpox and to develop antibodies that would cure that disease and inoculate a nation and a world from being infected by it again. And it's the same humanity that did that took 6 million Jews and sent them to their deaths in gas chambers. And that was all in the last 100 years. The same humanity that gave us the moon also gave us that experience. What does that mean? It means we have a path in front of us that is a challenging one, that we each and every one of us have an opportunity to contribute to the self-evident principle of sovereignty for ourselves and sovereignty for the country and the world that we occupy together. We breathe the same air. We occupy and plant in the same soil. We harvest in the same oceans. We live in a global community. And that community requires the energy of what? The exercise of faith and the energy of love. The capacity to understand that the work we do here in the principle of unity is that God is everywhere. There is good in everyone, and each of us has a divine purpose. You don't have to believe in a Christian God or an Islamic God or a Buddhist God in order to understand those principles. That's why we call it unity. And that's why we're faced in this particular day of ours with an understanding of why it's important to acknowledge self-evident principles, but also to occupy and acknowledge the evidence of self. You have a gift. It has been given to you by the natural life that you've been born into. You have a gift to understand and appreciate the challenges that you're handed, and that those challenges are not insurmountable, but opportunities for you to understand that no challenge you're ever given by nature exceeds the gifts you've been given to face those challenges. Oh, that's a tough order. You may face the death of a loved one. You will if you live long enough. You may face the loss of a job. You may face a change of a neighbor. You may face a disability of some sort, a physical challenge, an emotional illness, a betrayal of someone in whom you thought you could place total trust, only to find that trust was lost. These are disappointments, and they come with life. But life also comes with God. And because we can think, because we are different than the animals, because the instinct to fight can be counterbalanced by the intuition that we're given, that hunch, that gift, to know what's right and know what's wrong and know it deep inside of us. That's what we celebrate when we celebrate the United States of America. We are not a charmed city on a hill. We are not a community that was guided here by courageous people who were people of faith, who brought to this nation something so special that God has charmed us over all other nations, over all other people, or cultures, or civilizations, or history. That is bunk. We are human beings. And look at the wealth in this nation. Look at the talent in this nation. Look at the privileges we're granted. We see people on the streets who are homeless. We need to do something about it. We see people who are sick and who need to be healed. We see people who are hungry and need to be fed. We see strangers we need not to worry about or banish, but we need to welcome. And we need to do all of this in the exercise of the one verb that guides us all, and that is love. But in order to love others, we must love ourselves. And so self-evidence means evidence of your own being, your own worthiness, your own gifts. That's self-evidence. It starts with each and every one of us. Now, you may be listening to me and saying, how can he say these things? How can he possibly, truly, deeply believe these things? Has he never been hurt? Has he never been disappointed? Has he never found a problem that has caused such despair that hopelessness is the border that we stand on? Sure, I have. We've all had those things. And you know, we probably will have a few more. I've been told that as you get older, some of the parts start to break. I have heard a rumor that maybe this thing that happened to me when I lost my eyesight was a gift because it was just foreshadowing some other things that might sort of break as life goes on. So we don't regret those things. We don't look at them with cynicism. We don't look at them with anger. We may look at them with sorrow. Loss always requires grief. But we celebrate today the sovereignty that we have as individuals. And when we become knowledgeable about who we are, about why we're here, about what we are able to do, and we greet the stranger with love and acceptance, and never challenge the worthiness of others before we learn to love ourselves. There's no secret to this. It's all in the unity principles. You know, and I know, that when you have a hunch, it's your intuition telling you to do something. And when you're reluctant to do it, it's your fear telling you that it's something that might be new, that you might not have experienced before. And you know, and I know that everything is the way it is supposed to be at this very moment. Those are hard lessons sometimes to learn. They're easy to say, hard to do. But when we do those things, we find love. We find love for ourselves. We find love for others whom we thought we never could really want to spend much time with. David Sedaris said something else to me that was awfully funny. Sedeca said something else to me that was awfully funny. I said, what are you doing next week that you can't read your book to me? He said, well, I'm going to go to a convention of hermits. I said, a convention of hermits? What do hermits do at a convention? He said, well, first of all, not very many of them show up. And he second, those who do just sort of sit around and try to act like they don't notice one another. What a guy. Humorists give us a chance to laugh at those things that otherwise might cause us despair. I love the humor that comes from people like David and people like others, like Ambrose Bierce, who says patience is a mild form of despair posing as virtue. Don't you love that? Patience, a mild form of despair posing as virtue. I think we can all be patient. I think we can all be engaged. I think we can all understand that our future is what we will make of it, and our present is the gift that we're given right now. I've had the opportunity in my career to be a public relations man for senators, for corporate leaders, for elected officials, even worked on one occasion for a United States president. These are people of great power, great courage, great accomplishment. And they all are measured by their handshake, and they all are measured by how courageous they are when they look at the future and see all of the opportunities and all of the setbacks that could come our way. One of the men I was privileged to meet is George Bush, the senior. I couldn't see him. I shook his hand, but I could feel his presence more than anybody's presence I've ever felt. It was like I was the only person, not only in the room, but on earth. And I felt in him a sadness because of the challenges that he had faced and the burdens that he had to bear and the knowledge he was given about the way the world really is and where we have challenges we have to deal with and where we have opportunities we need to pursue. I was humbled by that energy. I'm always humbled when I come here because here is the place that is to our world. This is the Founders Church. This is Mecca when it comes to the Islamic faith. This is Palestine when it comes to other faiths. This is Bethlehem. This is the Founders Church. There's something sacred about this space. There's something very special about what happens here and what has happened here and what will continue to happen here. And so this is a treasure that all of us stay committed to. I commit myself to the unity principles because I have found that when I'm in despair or in triumph, feeling an extreme emotion, one way or the other, it is a principle, a set of safeguards that I can abide by, live by, and be comforted by because I am centered by unity. And so I ask you today to join me in celebrating your sovereignty. I ask you today to take a close, careful, loving look at yourself. Where are you fearful? What inside you offers the challenge to do something you've never done before? What does it take for you to take that chance? What does it take for you to overcome that fear? What will it take for you to know that in this place, with others here and elsewhere, you have friends? I consider each and every one of you a friend. I consider this place my place where I can come and know no matter what I say, no matter what I do, I will not be judged. I will be embraced. I will be the stranger who is given unconditional love. And so that's what I offer to you today. I offer you my gratitude for your presence. I offer you my humble invitation to consider what I have shared. Not that these words have come from me, but that these words have been inspired by the spirit of unity, by the presence of this place, and by the engagement you have offered. I offer that to you with all of my blessings and with all of my wishes that all of us will remain devoted to these principles, these evident truths. And I thank you so much.
That's a standing ovation. Yeah. Thank you so much, David. We are incredibly blessed by your presence in your heart and your words of wisdom. Thank you so much. Well, now we are in for a treat, another Kelly Hunt original. You Gotta Be the Vessel, Baby.
You got to be the vessel, baby. You got to hold the light. Let it flow like water, soaking everything inside. Don't let love be wasted. Don't let the people go dry. The more you pour, the more you receive in that great by and by. Now open your heart, open your eyes, open the gate, come on, open your mind. What you gonna do when the light one's through? If not through you, then tell me who's gonna be the vessel this morning? Who's gonna hold the light and let it flow like water, soaking everything inside. Don't let the love be wasted. Don't let the people go dry, 'cause the more you pour, more you receive in that great by and by. Na 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 na. Are you the vessel? Are you the one? Are you the wrestling that Jacob has done with that angel who blessed him free? Made him the vessel like you and like me. You're the hands of God and her strong feet. You're the broken heart, still keeping the beat. You're the lost one in the desert night. The burning bush still showering light. You gotta be the vessel, baby. You got to hold the light. Oh, just let it flow like water, soaking everything inside. Hey, 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 don't you let love be wasted. Don't you let people go dry, 'cause the more you pour, the more you receive in that great by and by. Na 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 na. Oh, 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 you got to be the vessel. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. If not you, then who? Oh, oh, you know it's me and you. Oh, it's you, you.
That is so good. We are so blessed. You got to be the vessel, baby. Look to your neighbor and say that. And say it with feeling, right? Like, you got to be the vessel, baby. Oh, yeah. Well, now is the time in our service where we get to share our love offerings with our spiritual community here at Unity Temple on the Plaza. If you haven't been to our website, unitytemple.com, I encourage you to go. If you click on the donate button, you can see the different platforms, and we just want you to use the one that's easiest for you to give. And I do encourage you to review the ambassador program while you're there. That's our reoccurring giving. So with that said, I invite you to place your hand over your heart and let's say our offertory prayer together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen.
Everything is beautiful in its own way, hey, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. and everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find the way. Now there is none so blind as he who will not see. We must not close our minds. We must let our thoughts be free. For every hour that passes by, you know the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, you know the world is gonna find a way. We shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the color of his skin. Don't worry about what shows from without, but the love that lives within. And we're gonna get it all together now, and everything's gonna work out just fine. Just take a little time to look on the good side, my friend, and straighten it out in your mind. Everything is beautiful in its own way. Under God's heaven, the world is gonna find its way. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, this world is gonna find a way. Everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, oh, this world is gonna find its way.
Thank you, Kelly Hunt and David Westbrook. This morning, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our wonderful prayer chaplains who are serving with us today. They will both be available after the service at the front of the sanctuary to offer one-on-one prayer support. Please know that anything you share with them is held in the strictest of confidence. Our prayer chaplains are here to support you and pray with you. Please remember to join us next Sunday at 10:30 for a special message by our guest speaker, Reverend Maggie Alderman, entitled Crossing Thresholds, the Journey from One Day to Today. Today is Blessing Bag Sunday. Please remember to grab a bag on your way out to pass out to those in need in our community. Also, on your way out, our board of directors will be in the Northex to assist with membership renewals. If you haven't renewed yet and have any questions, please stop by and see them. Give hope this summer by donating blood at our upcoming drive with American Red Cross on Monday, July 20th from 1 to 5 p.m. Use the QR code in the bulletin to schedule your appointment. I don't see any kids, so, well, yeah. Yes, we do, so please stand and join me in welcoming the kids in. Maggie, what did you do today?
Today, well, we talked about, since we didn't have any kiddos last week, it was very sad. So we talked about flags and countries and communities. And we talked about, like, what if we had a unity flag? Who would be on it? What would be on it? And first we said, well, my family would be on it. Like they each said, well, my family. And we said, well, what about your neighbors? We decided, okay, we can do neighbors. Well, what about those neighbors across town? They're friends with these neighbors. Yeah, we better include them. Pretty soon we realized that we get to include everyone, because like with Unity Principle 1, God is in everything and everyone. And we're all full of love, right? Right? So that's what we did today. We made a ginormous flag.
So thank you again for joining us today, both in person and online. And as always, we look forward to seeing you again next week. Please join me in the prayer of protection and let there be peace on earth. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace.